The grand hall of Elysium 9 shimmered with 1,000 lights. Crystal panels reflected the glow of alien technology, and the music vibrated through the polished floors. The space station was alive. Diplomats, merchants, and travelers from dozens of species mingled in colorful attire, sharing conversations that blended languages and gestures. Humans were a small but noticeable group, moving nervously among the confident aliens. Alex, a young human diplomat, felt out of place. His polished shoes clicked nervously against the floor as he scanned the crowd. Every human he saw had already paired with an alien. Laughing, talking, dancing. He had thought this event would be a chance to network, to learn, to meet new friends, but now it felt like he was invisible. He leaned against a marble column, trying to convince himself it was okay. "Maybe I'll just stay here and observe," he muttered under his breath. His eyes followed a group of blue-skinned humanoids, laughing with human scientists, their hands gesturing as if the air itself was a language. Alex sighed. He didn't belong here, or so he thought. Then he saw her. She wasn't like anyone else. She moved with a slow, deliberate grace, every step measured yet fluid, like water flowing over smooth stones. Her skin was pale, almost luminescent, and her eyes, deep, dark, and slightly red, seemed to absorb the light around her. She wore a long, flowing gown of dark fabric that shimmered subtly, catching the colors of the hall as she moved. Alex's stomach tightened. He couldn't look away. She came closer, and the music shifted in his perception, becoming a background hum. Time seemed to slow as she approached him. "Human," she said, her voice soft but commanding, like a melody. "Dance with me." Alex blinked. His mind raced. "Dance? With?" The alien woman inclined her head, and her expression was unreadable. "Lyrith," she said, introducing herself with a delicate gesture of her hand. Her fingers were long, elegant, tipped with nails that glinted like polished obsidian. "And you are?" Alex," he managed, feeling his pulse spike. Lyrith smiled faintly, and Alex felt something unexplainable in that smile. Curiosity? Amusement? Maybe both. "Do you often dance with aliens?" he asked, trying to sound casual. "Rarely," she replied. "But tonight you caught my attention." Alex swallowed hard. His colleagues would have shouted warnings. Humans were advised to avoid certain alien species, especially ones like Lyrith's. She was from a vampire-like race, known for their strength, cunning, and, in some circles, predatory habits. Humans were fragile in comparison. And yet, here she was, asking him to dance. I don't know if I..." "Do not think," she interrupted gently, yet with a hint of command. "Just follow the rhythm." Alex hesitated for only a moment before she took his hand. The touch was surprisingly warm, electric in a subtle way, and he felt a jolt of something he couldn't name. She led him to the center of the hall, where the crowd parted slightly. The music shifted. Slower now. Softer. Almost like it had been waiting for them. As they moved together, Alex became aware of her presence in ways he hadn't expected. Lyrith didn't just move with grace. She seemed to read him. His thoughts flickered across her mind like soft waves, curiosity brushing against curiosity. Alex felt exposed and strangely safe at the same time. "You are unlike the others," she said quietly, her voice a melody in his ears. "Your species. It intrigues me." Alex laughed nervously. "I hope that's a good thing." "It is," she replied. Her eyes locked onto his, and he felt as if she were trying to understand him, not just his thoughts, but his fears, his dreams, his very essence. The dance continued, and for the first time that evening, Alex forgot the others. He forgot the crowd. He forgot the awkwardness and the fear of standing out. All that mattered was Lyrith and the rhythm of the music, flowing like a current between them. Then, without warning, A ripple of lights flickered across the hall. The music stuttered, and the crowd murmured uneasily. Something in the station shifted, and Alex felt a shiver crawl down his spine. "Do you feel that?" Lyrith's gaze hardened slightly, a shadow crossing her delicate features. "Yes. Something is wrong." Before he could ask her to explain, a series of lights dimmed, and a distant alarm echoed through the station. Panic began to ripple through the crowd. Aliens rushed past them, their voices overlapping in confusion and fear. "Stay close," Lyrith said, her voice calm but sharp. She guided him away from the nearest exit, weaving through the startled crowd with a precision that made Alex's head spin. What's happening?" he asked, his voice trembling. She didn't answer immediately. Instead, she scanned the hall, her sharp senses alert to things Alex couldn't perceive. "Something has breached the station's security. It is powerful." Alex's heart pounded. He wanted to run, to hide, but he couldn't tear himself away from her. Somehow, he trusted her. You don't seem afraid," he said. "I am always aware," she replied. "Fear is a luxury I cannot afford. And you may be more useful than you realize." He frowned. "Humans," she said, eyes glinting in the dim emergency lights, "have qualities others lack. Intuition, creativity, a resilience that surprises many of my kind." Alex's stomach tightened. He had never thought of himself as particularly special. He was just a diplomat, a communicator. But there was something in Lyrith's tone, confidence, a certainty that made him feel capable. "Come," she said, pulling him toward a side corridor. The music and the crowd faded behind them. "We need to find a safe place. Then, perhaps, I will explain." The corridor was quiet, sterile, and dimly lit. Alex followed her without hesitation. Noticing the way she moved, silent, precise, almost like a predator gliding through shadows, he felt the tension building around them. Something was definitely wrong on Elysium 9, and whatever it was dangerous enough to make a powerful alien like Lyrith cautious. "Why me?" he asked, trying to make sense of the moment. "Why not take someone stronger, faster, someone like you?" Her lips curved in the faintest smile. "Because you think differently. That makes you stronger in ways you do not yet understand. And sometimes..." She paused, her eyes meeting his. "The right ally is not the one who looks strongest, but the one who is willing to act when others hesitate." Alex swallowed. He didn't fully understand what she meant, but the words resonated within him. He had never been a hero. He had never faced real danger. Yet, standing there beside her, he felt a spark of courage he didn't know he possessed. They reached a small observation deck overlooking the station's lower levels. From here, Alex could see chaos spreading. Shadows moving unnaturally fast, alarms flashing, and alien crews rushing to contain whatever threat had emerged. Lyrith moved to the edge of the deck, her senses extending beyond what he could see. "The breach is not random," she said. "It is deliberate. Someone, something, wants to test the station's defenses, and we are the first to notice." Alex felt a shiver run down his spine. The thought of facing a threat he couldn't even comprehend was terrifying. And yet, somehow, with Lyrith here, he felt he might survive. "Are we going to fight?" he asked. "Perhaps," she said, turning to face him. "Perhaps not. But you will learn that survival often depends on trust, courage, and a willingness to step beyond your comfort zone. You, human, have already taken the first step." Her words echoed in his mind as he watched the flickering lights of the station. He didn't know what the next hours would bring, or what dangers lurked in the shadows. But he knew one thing for certain: this night would change him forever. And somewhere deep inside, he felt an unexpected thrill because the alien vampire woman had chosen him, and she had asked him to dance. The corridor was quiet now, but the silence was tense, heavy with anticipation. Alex followed Lyrith closely, her long figure moving gracefully ahead of him. Every step she took seemed to glide over the floor, almost without sound, and he struggled to keep up. His heart still raced from the earlier dance, and from the uncertainty of the alarms that had echoed through Elysium 9. "You said humans are useful?" Alex asked, trying to keep his voice calm. Lyrith glanced at him briefly, her sharp eyes assessing. "Your mind works differently than most of my kind. Humans have intuition and flexibility. Where others see limits, you see possibilities. Tonight, that may save lives." Alex frowned, feeling both pride and self-doubt. "I'm just a diplomat. I don't know how to fight, or survive against aliens like you." "Fighting is not always about strength," Lyrith replied softly. "It is about thinking, predicting, and acting. You already have what you need. You only need to trust yourself and me." Alex nodded slowly, still uncertain. Yet something about the way she spoke made him believe it. Perhaps he could help. Perhaps he could survive. The observation deck led to a small maintenance shaft, narrow and lined with pipes. Lyrith moved into it without hesitation. Alex followed, ducking low and trying not to make noise. Outside, the hallways were chaotic. He could hear panicked shouts and the echo of running feet. "They are hunting something. Or someone," Lyrith said, her voice barely a whisper. She paused and held a hand up, listening. "Yes, rogue elements, my kind, uncontrolled, dangerous. They have entered the station." Alex's stomach tightened. Rogue vampires? He had heard rumors, stories of vampire-like aliens who had broken away from their clans, attacking indiscriminately. To think they were here, on a station filled with civilians. Why? Why come here? Why not deal with them from your own world? Alex asked. Lyrith's eyes softened, just slightly. Because some threats do not respect boundaries. Some cannot be ignored. And sometimes, the unexpected can turn the tide. That is why I need you. Alex stopped walking, turning to look at her. Me? Why me? Because humans. You adapt. You survive in ways others cannot imagine. You will see what I mean soon enough. They emerged into a service tunnel, dimly lit, the hum of the station's machinery surrounding them. The lights flickered, warning signs blinking in red along the walls. Alex felt an uneasy chill. Every instinct told him danger was near, and he noticed Lyrith's body tense, her senses alert. Suddenly, a shadow moved across the end of the tunnel. Alex froze, his mind racing. Lyrith's eyes narrowed. "Stay behind me," she whispered. A figure emerged from the shadows, tall, fast, and menacing. Its skin was pale, almost white, like hers, but its eyes glowed with a harsh red light. The rogue vampire had sharp claws, long and glinting in the dim light, and its teeth were slightly exposed in a predatory grin. Lyrith moved with blinding speed, placing herself between Alex and the rogue. The creature lunged, but she twisted, avoiding its attack effortlessly. Her movements were graceful, precise, almost like a deadly dance. Alex watched in awe and fear. He wanted to act, to help, but he froze. Then he remembered her words. Thinking, predicting, and acting. He noticed the rogue's pattern. It attacked in bursts, always swinging from the left. Carefully, he moved to the right, positioning himself behind a stack of pipes. A sudden idea formed in his mind. "Lyrith," he shouted. "Distract it, go left. I'll—" Before he could finish, she understood. With a flick of her hand, she leapt to the left, dodging the creature, and her momentum caused it to stumble slightly. Alex seized the moment. He grabbed a small metal rod from the floor and swung it toward a panel near the wall. Sparks flew, and the rogue vampire hissed, momentarily stunned. Lyrith's eyes met his, and for the first time, Alex saw something akin to approval in them. He had acted when others might have panicked. He had used his human ingenuity. "Good," she said, her voice calm but carrying an edge of excitement. "You are learning." The rogue recovered quickly, lashing out again, and Lyrith spun, avoiding the strike, her movements fluid and deadly. Alex noticed something important. The creature was strong, but it reacted predictably to her, to him, to the environment. They had an advantage if they worked together. "Follow me," Lyrith commanded, leading him deeper into the service tunnels. "We must reach the security hub. If we can alert the station and contain them, more lives will be safe." Alex nodded, trying to match her pace. He realized, with a mix of fear and thrill, that he was part of something bigger than himself. He had always thought diplomacy was his greatest tool. Now, it was his mind, his quick thinking, his ability to notice details others missed, that mattered. As they ran, Lyrith explained, "Rogue vampires like this one often hunt for control, for chaos. My clan maintains order, but sometimes one slips through. Their power is dangerous, but they lack restraint. They will not stop until they are destroyed or until they destroy everything." Alex shivered. "And they could kill us?" "Yes," she admitted. "But humans have an advantage my kind does not. You are unpredictable. You see solutions where others see only walls. That is why you are here." They reached a junction, where multiple corridors branched off. Alex's mind raced. He remembered the observation deck and the patterns he had noticed earlier. The security drones were still active, but in disarray. He pointed to a less-traveled corridor. "Here," he said. "If we go this way, we can get to the control room without being seen." Lyrith studied him for a moment, then nodded. "Impressive. You truly think differently. Lead the way." Alex felt a surge of confidence. He was terrified, yes, but he was also capable. For the first time in his life, he realized humans could matter in ways even the most powerful aliens might not expect. The corridor led them to a maintenance hatch that opened into the station's control hub. It was a room filled with consoles, screens flashing red alerts, and a faint hum of alien technology. Lyrith moved immediately to assess the situation. "Security is compromised," she said. "We need to isolate the rogue before it reaches the civilian sectors." Alex examined the layout, noting the movement patterns displayed on the screens. His mind worked quickly, connecting paths, exits, and the few blind spots the rogue might use. "If we can block this corridor and redirect it here, we can trap it," he suggested. Lyrith's eyes widened slightly. "Exactly. You see the solution." Working together, they set traps, closed doors remotely, and coordinated with the station's remaining security drones. Alex's human intuition and Lyrith's alien speed and strength made an effective team. Every action required precision, timing, and trust, and for the first time, Alex felt he was not just surviving, but contributing in a meaningful way. The rogue vampire appeared again, faster than expected. But Alex was ready. He signaled Lyrith, and she moved to engage it, her grace and agility on full display. The rogue struck, but Alex used the environment to his advantage, triggering a door mechanism that blocked its path and trapped it momentarily. Lyrith lunged, and in a swift, deadly motion, incapacitated the rogue without harming it beyond immobilization. She turned to Alex, her eyes softening. almost approving. Well done. You acted without hesitation. You learned quickly. Alex exhaled deeply, realizing how close they had come to disaster. He felt adrenaline mixing with pride, with a sense of belonging he had never felt before. Humans might be seen as fragile, but tonight, he had proven otherwise. Thank you, he said quietly, for trusting me. Trust is earned, Lyrith replied, a faint smile on her lips. And you are learning quickly. Soon, you may even be ready to face greater challenges. But for now, she gestured to the screens, showing the rogue immobilized. We have prevented the worst. The station is safe for now. Alex leaned back against the console, feeling exhaustion and exhilaration at once. I never imagined this. I came here just to observe, and now, I've helped save a station. With a vampire. Lyrith's faint smile grew. Humans often underestimate themselves. That is why you survive, why you endure, and why you are remarkable. Alex couldn't help but smile, a new sense of confidence blooming within him. He was not just a diplomat. He was a human, capable of courage, ingenuity, and even heroism. And somewhere in the back of his mind, he felt a connection to Lyrith that went beyond strategy, beyond survival. She had chosen him, trusted him, and guided him in ways no one else could. The station's lights stabilized, and the immediate threat had been contained. Yet Alex knew this was only the beginning. The universe was vast, full of dangers and unknowns, but for the first time, he felt ready. And by his side, the alien vampire woman, his unexpected ally, waited silently, her presence both reassuring and thrilling. The central hub of Elysium 9 was chaos. Red warning lights pulsed, and alarms blared through the corridors. Civilians scrambled toward safety, some frozen in fear, others shouting to guide the panicked crowd. Shadows moved unnaturally fast across the polished floors, rogue vampires, unrestrained and dangerous, hunting anything in their path. Alex gripped Lyrith's hand tightly. For a moment, he remembered the first dance they had shared, the moment she had asked him to trust her. That memory was a tether, grounding him amid the terror. We need to stop them, Lyrith said, her voice calm yet firm. If the rogue leader reaches the civilians, the consequences could be catastrophic. Alex nodded, swallowing hard. He had never fought before, never faced something so dangerous, and yet he felt capable. Human intuition and quick thinking had gotten him this far, and he had no intention of running now. The rogue leader, a massive, pale figure with glowing red eyes, emerged at the far end of the hub. It moved with terrifying speed, its claws glinting in the emergency lights. Lyrith tensed, ready to engage, but she did not strike immediately. She was calculating, waiting for the perfect moment to act. Alex, she said quietly, you must stay close. Observe. Look for openings. He nodded, his mind racing. He studied the leader's movements carefully. Its attacks were powerful, but predictable in their rhythm. It favored lunges to the left, retracting before striking again. And it hesitated slightly after each attack, a pattern Alex had noticed in the tunnels earlier. Follow my lead, he whispered to himself, heart pounding. And think. The rogue leader lunged, and Lyrith dodged with fluid precision, spinning gracefully to avoid its claws. Sparks flew as the creature's strike hit a console, and Alex saw his chance. Using the station's environment to his advantage, he pulled a lever that sealed one of the side corridors, redirecting the rogue toward a narrow passage where its size would hinder its movement. Good thinking, Lyrith said, noticing his action. Her eyes held a rare spark of admiration. The leader struggled in the narrow passage, and Lyrith seized the opportunity. She moved with lightning speed, delivering precise strikes that disarmed and destabilized the rogue. Alex stayed close, ready to act if anything went wrong. Suddenly, the rogue broke free. faster than expected. It charged directly at Lyrith, who prepared to defend herself. Alex remembered the security drones they had previously coordinated and quickly activated one, guiding it to intercept the rogue. The drone's pulse temporarily stunned the creature, giving Lyrith the opening she needed. In a fluid, almost artistic motion, Lyrith struck the rogue leader with controlled force, incapacitating it without lethal damage. Alex watched in awe as she demonstrated skill, precision, and restraint qualities that few humans, let alone aliens, could match. "Are you all right?" Alex asked, rushing to her side. Lyrith nodded, breathing steadily. "Yes, you did well. Your instincts and quick thinking contributed greatly." Alex felt a rush of pride. He had been terrified, yes, but he had acted, and his actions had mattered. Humans might seem fragile in the galaxy, but tonight, he had proven that courage and ingenuity could stand against even the most dangerous aliens. The rogue leader was contained, and the remaining rogue vampires retreated, intimidated by the swift and coordinated response. The station's alarms began to stabilize, and the civilians were guided to safety. Alex allowed himself a brief moment to breathe, feeling exhaustion and exhilaration wash over him. "Humans," Lyrith said, turning to him, "often underestimate their own abilities. You are adaptable, resilient, and capable of courage beyond what most expect. That is why you succeeded where others might have failed." Alex smiled, feeling a mix of relief and satisfaction. "I never imagined I could do this. But I had you guiding me." "And you followed," she replied, her eyes meeting his. For a moment, silence fell between them, broken only by the distant hum of the station's restored systems. Alex realized how much he had changed in a single night. He had gone from a nervous observer to an active participant in saving an entire station. He had stepped into the unknown, faced danger, and emerged stronger. Then, Lyrith extended her hand, her fingers brushing his lightly. "One more dance?" she asked, a faint smile on her lips. Alex laughed softly, the tension melting from his body. "I think I can manage that." They moved to the central hall, now cleared of danger. The lights, restored to a calm, soft glow, reflected on the polished floors. Music began to play, gentle and melodic. The civilians watched with curiosity and admiration as the human and the alien vampire danced not as diplomat and alien, not as predator and prey, but as equals. As they danced, Alex noticed the subtle confidence in himself that had grown throughout the night. He no longer felt small or invisible. He felt capable, respected, and alive. And beside him, Lyrith moved with elegance and grace, her presence a reminder of the possibilities that awaited when humans dared to step beyond their comfort zones. "You have changed tonight," she said softly. "And you've taught me more than I ever expected," Alex replied. Her eyes softened, a rare expression that hinted at trust, admiration, and perhaps something deeper. "The universe is full of dangers, Alex, but it is also full of potential. Never forget that humans are stronger than many believe." Alex nodded, feeling the truth of her words resonate deep within him. For the first time, he truly understood what it meant to be human, in a galaxy filled with powerful aliens, adaptable, resilient, and capable of extraordinary courage. The dance continued, a rhythm of trust, teamwork, and newfound confidence. Alex realized that night that humanity could thrive in the most unexpected places, not because of raw strength, but because of intelligence, empathy, and determination. When the music ended, they stood side by side, breathing lightly and looking at the now calm station. The crisis had passed, but the memory of the night, the danger, the partnership, the triumph, would remain with Alex forever. Lyrith inclined her head, her expression unreadable yet soft. "You have proven yourself, human. And perhaps we will face many more challenges together." Alex smiled. I'd like that. And with that, a new understanding formed between them, one that transcended fear, danger, and species differences. The universe was vast, filled with threats and wonders alike. But humanity, Alex realized, had a place in it. Not just as survivors, but as contributors, thinkers, and heroes. As the night settled on Elysium 9, Alex looked out at the stars, feeling both small and infinite. He had danced with danger, faced the unknown, and discovered strength within himself he never knew existed. And somewhere, in the shadows of the galaxy, he knew that he and Lyrith were ready for whatever came next together. The dance of survival was over, but the dance of life, of partnership, and of courage had only just begun.